Oh, Casey,
Hello?
it's old Rand here with Casey James and the PPW 442 results, or if you prefer in Spanish, resultados.
Resultados. Can you say 442 in Spanish?
No, can you?
Cuatro, dos.
Case, what was the opening contest?
The opening contest for last night at 442 was the All Japan style battle royal, with the winner receiving a number one contendership match later in the evening against heavyweight champion Jose Acosta.
That's going up on YouTube as soon as possible. It wasn't just fluff. That was really a freaking intense battle royal, all Japan style battle royal. Win by pinfall, but man, life imitated art in that one.
Well, I just want to say, Randy, just in case for the listeners at home, if you missed PPW 442, this will be a night that will go down in the history books at PPW. I mean, what an emotional roller coaster of an evening. I mean, if you're just a fan of Rocky or drama or, an underdog story or just a human interest story, you went through the gamut of emotions last night at PW 442. Well, we'll get to that, but I really feel like that is, forget wrestling. I mean, if you want your emotional heartstrings tugged, then I mean, this was a night for anybody. So
it's outstanding.
Unbelievable. Yeah, so the opening contest was at All Japan style battle royal, and the returning, the man who was on death's door, Randy, a man that has overcome the odds, and what a stand up man too. I mean, this young man is, I mean, you can't help but to get behind Jesse Danger. This is a man who's turned his life around personally and professionally. He's and has had some roadblocks. How many months ago he had that horrific motorcycle accident? Less than a year.
I'd say about a year. Let's just say
about a year ago. I mean, this man was on death's door. I mean, Randy, why don't you go ahead? I mean, what kind of injuries did he have?
Well, first it was a hit and run. He was on his motorcycle. I don't know everything, but I do know he lost his spleen. He had liver damage.
Broken leg.
The man has titanium lower leg.
Yeah.
And his head, he was in a coma for what, 3 weeks?
Something, yeah. Yep.
And it didn't seem real. Because we had seen him, a day or two before it happened.
Yeah.
They also told him 6 months ago that he should give up on the wrestling thing. He's probably never going to do it again.
And talk about beating the odds. This young man returned to PPW, outlasts 10 other men, and wins the All Japan style battle royal. I'm sure Vegas had those odds set at, 50 to 1, 100 to 1, 200 to 1. What were the chances? And this man overcame the odds and outlasted 10 other men. What an impress. That feat alone, after everything he's been through, is incredible.
At his size, yeah.
At his size. Yeah. But you know what? I see how, a lot of times when you're going, this happens a lot, with any type of maybe a fighter or a boxer or a football player, when they have a serious injury, sometimes they have to change their styles. They have to go in a different direction. And this young man has put on probably 10 to 15 pounds of lean muscle. He's actually bulked up. He knows that maybe the style that he had used for success prior might not be able the way he can do things for the future, but he's obviously changed his style up a little bit to, to produce results. And
and to your point,
on that muscle, I definitely think would help in a battle royal type situation.
And to your point, he's also a student of the game. So he did a lot of tape watching. And, you know, all the greats will tell you, including and not limited to Mike Tyson, to be great, you got to study the greats.
Right. Right.
You know, so, yeah, he came in. And, you know, I don't think about it till after seeing it. But, yeah, he came in physically prepared, but just as much mentally prepared.
Yeah, I hearken it to, you know, a lot of times like a running like Gale Sayers after he had his catastrophic knee injury. A lot of people forget that after this is back in the late 60s when they didn't have the procedures that we have now.
Yeah.
Torn ACL was pretty much a death sentence.
Yeah.
He came back from that. He ran for 1,000 yards. You know how elusive Gale Sayers was. Yep. He did it. He changed his style and did it between the tackles, and he gained that 1,000 yards. But he had to do it, you know, the old-fashioned way, right up the middle, because he didn't have the explosion. He wasn't as elusive as he was before the injury. So, I mean, just whatever it is, hey, don't tell me about the labor. Just show me the baby. It's a results base. It's a results game. Nobody just win, baby. Nobody cares about second place in pro wrestling. Just win, and Jesse Danger took the necessary steps to produce results.
Yeah. Or let's talk about Wendell Davis. You remember Wendell Davis, special teams on the 1985 Bears. Wendell Davis tore both patella tendons at the same time back in the day. No way in God's green earth was he going to come back. But the guy wouldn't take no for an answer, and he screwed around playing arena ball, whatever the hell he could, walked back on, and he's part of the greatest team in the history of pro football. Wendell Davis, too, you know.
So, I mean, that was worth the price of admission, that one match there. Then in singles competition, we had Rockstar Rosie squaring off against Charlie Hustle, being seconded by Marcus the Science Smith.
Of course.
A lot of bad blood there. These two, Jay Leon and Rockstar Rosie, have been doing battle with Marcus the Science Smith and Charlie Hustle for the past few months over the PPW Tag Team Championships. We have the winner by disqualification was Charlie Hustle over the Rockstar, but that was after interference by Marcus the Science Smith. Jay Leon came out to try to even the odds, not to actually interject in the match, but to try to keep Marcus, you know, off the playing field so Rosie could get a fair shake. Well, Marcus the Science Smith somehow coaxed Jay Leon to get into the ring, chasing him. The referee saw it, and he had no choice but to throw that match out and award it to Charlie Hustle.
There you go.
Yep.
Remember, nobody makes them look foolish.
No, sir. The third match of the evening was the American Beard, who scored a victory over 0-6. And then the fourth match of the evening was Jay Leon squaring off against
Marcus
the Science Smith. Marcus the Science Smith. The team of Jay Leon and Marcus the Science Jay Leon and Rockstar Rosie were able to turn the table somewhat on the Science and Charlie Hustle, as Jay Leon was able to score the victory over the Science, Rand.
Yep. So before you go any further, at Frenzy on Friday night, the Rockstar and Jay Leon came out publicly and said that they want to gear up because the month has passed to take on the tag champs for the belts. And part of that tune-up to them was to wrestle each other. Now, Friday night, that'll be up to, I'm not sure yet on Patreon or Pivot Share, but be up shortly. They had a 20-minute time limit draw, man.
Yeah.
And then the next night, they had, like you said, those singles matches.
Yeah.
You know, against their opponents or their intended opponents. So, yes, the score is even. Charlie Hustle wins the first match, and Jay Leon, somehow they were able to outsmart and rise to the occasion.
And that's really, I mean, that pretty much is a microcosm of what we've seen the past few months. I mean, this has been such a highly a highly competitive tag series between these two teams, and it's almost 50-50. Even though right now the champions are the Science and Charlie Hustle. I mean, it's a toss up right now. It's been that's pretty much a microcosm of this entire feud. Is it's 50-50, one for one team, one for the other. They keep going back and forth, and man, they have had some unbelievable tag matches. If you're a fan of tag team wrestling done right, then you got to check out these Jay Leon, Rockstar Rosie versus Marcus the Science Smith and Charlie Hustle. I mean, I've been around this business for now, I mean, over 20 years, and some of these matches that they've had, I have found myself getting up out of my chair and standing and watching it. I'm getting into it. Seriously,
Yeah, I'm with you.
So anytime, I don't know what we have, Randy, if you want to talk about this coming week.
Yeah.
If you got a chance, if you got an opportunity to see next time these two teams lock horns, if you have the opportunity to see it, I highly suggest, if you're a fan of tag wrestling or just wrestling in general, to check out this match.
Yeah, if you're within a stone's throw of the Chicagoland area or southeast Wisconsin, Woodstock's right in the middle, and we'll talk more about it later.
Yeah.
But
isn't it fun though? Don't you find yourself almost becoming a fan when you see that tag match? I mean,
of course I do.
It's like it kind of brings you back to when we worked. It's like, okay, this is how it used to be. This is how it's supposed to be done. Like you find yourself. They kind of make me feel young again, or it's almost kind of like going into a time machine. Like I forget, I feel like, wow, this is because that happened. We saw that kind of action all the time,
and participated in it.
Yeah, and participated in it. But you know what I'm saying? The business was just different. I mean, we can go down the rabbit hole talking about that. But I mean, just, it's fun when you see it done the right way and the audience react accordingly. It's a lot of fun, and it makes you, that's when you miss being in the ring, when you're seeing it done right,
Definitely. And again, if you're not within a stone's throw of Woodstock or Chicago area, Chicagoland or southeast Wisconsin, Patreon and Pivot Share, please subscribe and support. You're going to get your money's worth. Okay, after that matchup,
that's worth the price of admission alone. These series of tag matches.
Yeah, I'm not kidding when I tell you that it's the best money you'll invest in wrestling.
Sure, absolutely.
Go ahead.
Following a brief intermission, we had the American Ninja Warrior, Sensei, the Challenge Pro champion, squaring off against Chris Area. It was a W for Sensei, who is, once again, I mean, what can you say about this guy? Looks like $1 million. He goes in the ring. Athleticism. God, I wish I had the athleticism this guy has.
And the body.
Unbelievable.
The body.
I mean, he's built like a Greek god. A lot of times, as you well know, Randy, back in the day, most guys that were built like Greek gods were not good workers.
Yeah.
For the most part. Well, the guys that were, they worked for Vince, your Rick Roots and, the guys that were. But, man, talk about the total package. This guy has the looks, he has the body, and he has the wrestling ability to back it up. I mean, it's rare that you. Yeah, and the heart. It's rare that you have the complete package like that. Yeah, so I expect, what I always expect from Sensei. He's gonna no matter how this heavyweight championship picture shakes out, I expect that Sensei's not going to be too far behind. Or any type of if there's any type of championship, he's already the Challenge Pro champion.
Yeah,
wherever there's high big time matchups. On the table, rest assured, Sensei's probably going to be in the mix in one way, shape, or form. So
yeah, he seems to find his way in there, doesn't he?
I mean, look, but hey, you can't argue with the results. I mean, that man was heavyweight champion for almost a year. I mean, he's win-loss. I mean, it's
Well,
Not
Chris,
a surprise.
he's literally been on American Ninja Warrior 4 times.
Oh, right. Right.
And there's some nights American Ninja Warrior is beating Raw on the ratings and on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, wow, you know.
Well, big W for Sensei. And then it was on, when they created the term main event, well, that's what this designation is for the PPW Heavyweight Championship. El Guerrero, Jose Acosta, the reigning and defending champion, would defend his title 2 out of 3 falls against the winner of the All Japan Battle Royal. I mean, the comeback story of the year. I know that PWI used to give out that award. This match should be on the top of that, a small list, and it shouldn't even be close. He should be on top of that list for this to receive this award. Comeback of the year. The man Jesse Danger would square off against Jose Acosta. And Randy, what a match this was. What an evening. 2 out of 3 falls, and we have a new PPW heavyweight champion. Jesse Danger overcomes all the odds. The motorcycle accident, personal tragedy.
This young man has 5 kids.
Rehabbing, being told he'd never wrestle again, overcoming that, going back in the gym, changing his game, changing his body, putting on the pounds, and it all came to fruition last night. He is the new heavyweight champion of PPW, Randy. What more can I mean, it was an unbelievable match.
Yeah.
Jose Acosta has been one hell of a heavyweight champion. Rest assured, he's going to have something to say about this.
Sure. He already has, man. I mean, for the record books, he's already claiming that it was unfair because the impromptu defense, he didn't have any time to prepare for, knowing who was going to win the Battle Royal. He's already talking about questionable on that third and final fall.
Yeah. And, and that's the big thing he talked about studying. Jose Acosta, it was a little bit, he knew the terms of the evening. He knew he would be facing the winner of the All Japan Battle Royal, but Jesse Danger was a late entrance into this. I mean, just a matter of days. Jose Acosta, really, if anyone had probably the upper hand, and I'm sure Jesse used this to his advantage, probably scouted Jose Acosta, knowing that even though he had to get through that Royal, that he knew who he would be facing. Jose Acosta, has wrestled a lot of the competitors in this All Japan Battle Royal, has no strengths and weaknesses, but to get Jesse Danger, you're right. I mean, he probably, is crying foul because, hey, he had no opportunity to scout his opponent. He doesn't know Jesse in a year. He doesn't know what he's been doing.
Style change.
Right. And despite that, Jose was in control. Once, Jesse got that first fall, but then Jose Acosta showed you why he is one of the premier wrestlers in the business today. And he showed you why he has been the PPW heavyweight champion, because then he changed gears and he started to lay heavy on Jesse. He knew, okay, I can't mess around with this guy. He got the second fall with his finish. And then, systematically started to take Jesse apart. I was like, there was a part of me, I'm watching this match, I'm like, man, maybe Jesse came back too soon. Maybe he's in over his head. I mean, he is out there taking a beating. I mean, it was reminiscent of Apollo Creed and Rocky 2, just picking Rocky apart, through the second to 15th round. But in that 15th and final round, in the 25th minute of this heavyweight title match, Jesse Danger was able to hit a Northern Lights on Jose Acosta
out of a backbreaker.
Had him in a backbreaker submission, and he was able to get the 3. Jose didn't even realize, he thought he had kicked out, but it was 3 1/2 that he kicked out at. He picks Jesse back up, puts him back into the submission, the backbreaker submission, and continued to go to work on him. But the referee did, in fact, count Jose's shoulders down for a 3 count, and we had a new heavyweight champion.
Well, now, to
Jose's credit, I mean, I'm sure Jesse was just a fraction away from having to throw in the towel. I mean, he's got to think about his future career, especially coming off of that injury. But hey, you know what? Close don't count. Man, we have a new heavyweight champion, man. Why don't you go throw your
from my standpoint, I didn't know either The referee called for the bell. I rang the bells. I was bell ringing and timekeeping. Okay, so I rang the bell, and I actually thought that that Jesse had submitted in the backbreaker.
Right.
That's how quick. When I went back and looked at it and reran it, I saw, oh, he did. There's the 3 count. So even I missed that, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something else. And now that's going to be up on Patreon shortly. I'm going to say by Tuesday. But you know what I think the key to that match is, and I couldn't take my mind off it while you were talking. I think what the final straw that really threw Jose off was the fact that Jesse snatched that first fall in under 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
And I think that really shook Jose.
That was just like Rocky getting that knockdown on Apollo in the first round.
Yeah. I never thought of that.
Yeah, and oh boy, then he broke his nose right after that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm gonna hit up Jesse and see how he's feeling today. But
yeah, whoo. Hey, you know what though? When you have a heavyweight title belt in your bag, though, you're able to overlook those aches and pains, and I'm sure he's feeling it today. But he's got to be feeling good. He's got to be feeling good.
Yeah. So I mean, man, that's amazing. So let's go ahead and wrap up the results and say this week. What do we got going on? King of the Ironman, Brandon Campbell, is returning to take on Sensei in a title match.
Man, that's going to be a good one, Rand. I tell you what, that's we just talked about Sensei, and his stock just continues to rise. We'll talk about a man that could equal that rise in the stock market. That's badass Brandon Campbell.
Yes.
Champions. King of the Ironman, 30 minutes, most falls to a finish in a 30-minute time period, whether it's submission or pinfall.
Yeah.
I mean, these are probably, it's really, like I said, it just depends on the week, but you really, I mean, as far as who's got the advantage in this company, there's 3 horses that are generally jockeying for position. That's Jose Acosta, Sensei, and Brandon Campbell. And depending on the week, one horse is leading by a nose, so to have these 2 competitors climb into the squared circle this Saturday, man, you're going to see one hell of a match. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be unbelievable. The power of Brandon Campbell, but also unbelievable speed and quickness for his size. Just a total athlete, good looking.
Stud,
yeah, just a stud. But I mean, Sensei equals him. Where he might be quick, Brandon Campbell, but he still doesn't quite possess the speed and quickness of Sensei. So it's a pretty evenly matched matchup, really. So
for sure,
I'm looking forward to see what shakes out from that.
Then you got the tag match. Rockstar Rosie, Jay Leone, the Relentless, taking on the champs, Marcus the Science Smith, Charlie Hustle.
We already talked about that, right? I mean, you are a fan of tag wrestling. This is an absolute must-see for any wrestling fan, but I loved good tag wrestling. I've just always been to it. I grew up on it. That the majority of my career, that's what I competed in. And just to see these guys go out and do what they do, it's really impressive, and it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch.
Yep. And due to the controversy and the bruised ego of Jose Acosta, he's invoking his rematch clause. And let's see if Jesse Danger can get a successful title defense in his first defense against the former champ.
Yeah, Jose's not going to take this line down. And I expect to see a really focused and geared up all business Jose Acosta. I mean, it's like you woke the sleeping giant, and sometimes, like I said, I'm not a fan of Jose's tactics as of late in the past few months. But you can't take anything away from what type of competitor he is. Sometimes he, uses questionable tactics, And maybe that's what he had been missing this whole time, you know? Maybe that's I mean, look, you can't argue with the results. He's been heavyweight champion for God knows how long, you know? So sometimes in this business, it takes getting nasty and just doing whatever it takes to win. I won't be surprised if he'll do whatever it takes to win this Saturday night to regain his championship back.
On steroids, you know. Well,
Yeah.
like you said, are you a fan of it? No, it's like Harley Race, Ric Flair, during their title runs. You didn't like them. I didn't like them, but I had to respect them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what it's been like with Acosta. So that one, I really, as a fan, can't wait to see myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's that. That's your wrap up, and that's your results for PPW 442.